signings this summer, I want to take you back to Sandro Tonali. Obviously, he faces Newcastle. Tottenham have never spent £100 million on one player before. It's something that makes the football world stand up and take notice. Why is he worth such a big fee?
Perché vale così tanto? Perché è stato l'investimento più grande che il Tottenham abbia mai fatto su un giocatore a livello economico arrivando fino a 100.
Do you want to speak about Tottenham or do you want to speak about the big teams in the big clubs in Premier League? Because we can increase the discussion, no? Because the discussion is the transfer market price in Premier League are right or not. I think the answer is in Premier League is a different transfer market. The value of the players in Premier League are totally different than the other market in Europe. And Sandro Tonali value is that valued because he's one of the most important midfielder in Premier League. He received two big offers for two big clubs in Premier League. It's not correct to say the clubs, but two big clubs, they fight with us to bring him, and he wanted to come here. I heard the fans very happy for this sign, for Sandro sign, and we have to accept, like the player who we sold. I think there are players who sold with a big price, and we brought players with a big price. Tonali is still 26 years. He's not 30 years. If you analyze the transfer market in Premier League, you can see players of 30 years paid around the price of Sandro. So what is the true? What is the answer? I don't know, but I think the value of Tonali in this transfer market, in this country, in this league, now, 2026, is the price of one of the best midfielder in Premier League.
How important was it after 2 seasons where the Premier League finishes haven't been good enough for this club that you went out and made a big impact in the transfer window, specifically?
No, they make the difference, the behavior and the ambitions of the owner. Because these players are not here for me or because I need them. Tottenham is... I am a dipendente del...
Yeah, I'm an employee of the club.
I'm not the owner, but the ambitions of the owner, they made the difference, for sure, because the owner pushed to close the players. And the owner ambitions is so big, right, to transfer for every one of us, the players, the board, the staff, with myself, the motivation to do better, some better. And then we can't forget we are Tottenham. Tottenham deserve. Tottenham as a history, Tottenham as a stadium, Tottenham as a fans deserve to compete for the top of the table. I don't know if we are able from now, but the plan is to achieve that level.
And just lastly on Sandro, what qualities does he bring that can transform your team and midfield? And what kind of mindset will he have going up against his old team so soon into the season?
Con che qualità può trasformare, diciamo, la tua squadra, ma soprattutto con che mentalità va ad affrontare la
Sandro, sincerely, is much better than I thought before to work with him, and I already said many times. Smart guy, smart player, very clean with the ball. Maybe can see one player more of quantity and less quality is not true. Is complete midfielder, can play as a 6, as a 8, He has a right intensity to play in this league, in Premier League, and we are very happy for him.
Dave.
Yeah.
When we look at the front line, you have 7 established options now. Now Marmoush has come. Would one more, bearing in mind you've got no Europe, would one more to make it 8 too many?
Hai davanti al momento attuale 7 giocatori. Considerando che non giochi in Europa, ne aggiungessi uno, arrivassi a 8, non sarebbero troppi?
Normally, to build a squad for 45, 40, 50 games, hopefully, for a season, you need 2 positions for two players for every position. If you look at the last squad when I came last season, there was more than 8 attackers. If you consider number 10 also.
Considering number 10 in this, by the way, just to say.
No, lui non considera il numero 10.
7 who? Kudus, Savigno, Savio.
Marmoush, Richarlison, Solanke, Tel, Odobert.
Odobert is injured for a long time. Before the February, March is not available. And then maybe can be one of these player can leave before the end of the season. And so
Sorry, before when?
before the end of the transfer market, sorry. Yeah, the window. I think we are not too many players. And also, if you consider the last season, not for Tottenham in Premier League, all teams, all clubs suffered many injuries, no? And we have Kudus after 6 months injury. I hope, and I will be very, very happy to see Kulusevski inside, and I want to put Kulusevski inside of the list because he's working very well, very hard. He's a good guy, and he's a different player. Xavi Simons, and before March, April is not ready. And so I think we need players, this number of the players.
Just going to ask you about Kulusevski as well. You've almost answered the question, but are you definitely going to put him on the Premier League list?
I would like to put yes. If he feels good like now, yes. He's improving day by day. Is great watching him during the season, and also because he deserves, because he suffered too much for his career, for his age, for his level of human. No, as a player, I'm speaking as a human, and he deserves to stay inside of the list.
Can you tell us where you went for dinner?
When?
No, where?
Where?
Dove sei andato
Where
a fare cena?
Italian restaurant, and I pay the bill.
You pay.
Yes, so you don't write the problem me and the club for the pre-season in Australia, because is false. Is not true. And we went to Italian restaurant and we ate very, very well.
I don't expect any secrets, obviously, but can you tell us what? Do they remain ambitious? Did they tell you things that encouraged you? Did you talk about transfers or
No,
other things?
all these things, because it's normal relationship. We went before Chelsea game last season with Vinay and Johan, and and it's a part of our job to organize, to make the last plan in the last days of transfer market, to speak about the condition of the players, the strategy to do in this 3-4 days. Nothing more, but there is sincerely there is a great relationship with all of them. I'm not pushing to. Maybe it's the first time I didn't push to complete the squad. They push, owner pushed to bring the top player, or Johanna Lange, for example, was brilliant in terms of ideas to make a solution, to give solution. Also Vinay, I remember when we closed Tonali, he made a video call to me. I was on holiday, and he was a smile like this, very happy, because it's not my business, the transfer market. I'm working for Tottenham to make Tottenham better than the last two seasons. The last two seasons is not Roberto won the players. No, Roberto works for Tottenham, and he wants, like the board, like the staff, like the players, the best team we can do.
May I ask you one about home form? Last year, terrible in the Premier League at Tottenham Stadium. What have you done to change it? I read about...
Nothing. For me, nothing, because I played with 3 games at home, 2 draw and 1 great one, and I can speak about my time, not before. And we play Brighton, Leeds and Everton. Brighton, great, maybe the best game in Tottenham Stadium. We lost 2 points. With Leeds, not great game, but good game enough to win the game. And Everton was a special day for me, for my memories, for my life. I don't want to change nothing for my time. We won in Carabao 2 days ago. Yes, maybe we conceded goal with Carabao. I was not so happy, but as a performance, as a quality of the play, it's good. We have to consider many players inside. Yes, but if the players are good players, is a good news.
3 wins last season.
3 wins, 3 vittorie la scorsa stagione, solo.
No, I won one time with me on the bench, and I can't say nothing before my time. Is not correct. There were different coaches, different problems. I think different mood, and I don't know what happened in that period.
Okay, we've got time for one more. If anyone, Jack.
In terms of the home form this season, Roberto, do you think that your idea of football that's well suited to games where you're dominating the ball, controlling the game, and creating lots of chances, like fans want to see?
Yes, I think is one part, one important part. The other important part, maybe more important, is the spirit the player show at the beginning of the game. Because I think if we start in the right way the games, the fans, they play like us. The 12 players are the fans. Otherwise, it's big stadium, big history of this club. The memories of this stadium is different than another normal stadium, but it's the price you to pay if you want to stay in a big club.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Roberto, what would you say first time in your career, the first time you haven't pushed, they've pushed?